Mr. Hank said, who do we have here? Looking at me. She said, this is my son, Jack. He's a sissy. He won't fight back. I'm Grandmaster Jack Dart. I started martial arts 51 plus years ago at the age of 14, March 14, 1973. I was being bullied by the kids in my neighborhood, moving from one neighborhood to another, from the good to the hood. The bullying started at a very young age. I was raised by my mother, and she had a bunch of sisters, and I had 2 uncles. My mom had a total of 7 siblings. It was her, well, 5, 6 siblings. It was her, and she had 2 brothers and 4 other sisters. I'm the oldest of 16 grandkids. Like I told my students the story before, I said, I used to play with doll babies. When my aunt played with doll babies, she was 2 years older than me, and my other cousins, there was a couple. So I was raised around a bunch of females, so I really didn't go outside and play a lot, playing football and basketball and all that kind of stuff until I got a little older. But the whole time, you know, I was kind of, I would say, soft. When it came time to fight or to get rough house with the fellas, I didn't know how to do that stuff because I was, like I said, I was raised around a bunch of girls. So anyway, my first engagement, kid ran me in the house. He's like, yeah, you better not come back outside. And I just, you know, I'm looking at the kid's like, I'm gonna kick your butt, I'm gonna kick your so-and-so. And I sat up there and I'm crying, I'm looking out the window. My mom, I said, boy, what you crying for? What's going on? And I looked out the window and said, that boy want to fight me. She's like, well, get out there and fight him then, because if you don't fight him, he gonna own you. I ain't really know what that meant, but I said, I don't want to fight. I started crying, I don't want to fight. So my mama got her broom handle, and she said, you get out there and fight him or fight me. And my mom had popped me with that broom handle, me and my brother, a couple times. So I knew what she could do with that broom handle. So I took my chances. I said, I got a better chance of going out there and fighting with that guy than I do with my mama. So me and this kid, my mom went out there and she said, what's the problem? The kid's like, I don't like him. I'm gonna kick his so-and-so. My mom was like, well, y'all need to settle this. So my mama said, go ahead and fight then. So I ain't know nothing about no fighting. The kid had his hands up and I ain't know what to do. So all I did, I ran and I grabbed him and we both went down to the ground. He had me in a headlock and I had him in a headlock, which seemed like forever. What was only about maybe 3 minutes. And just so happened a policeman was driving by. So he pulled over and got out the car. He said, what's going on? My mama said, oh, they got a problem with each other, but we working it out. We just happened to be off the sidewalk on my front yard. And my mama was like, they working it out. The policeman got in this car and left. I said, Mom, what you do? She was like, just shut up and get this over with. So again, me and this kid, we tussling and fighting, we holding each other. So like I said, it might have been about 3 minutes, not even 5 minutes, and it seemed like forever. So I said, and the other kid said pretty much the same time, if you let me go, I'll let you go. And I said, on 3. So we said 1, 2, 3, we let each other go. My mama sitting there, you got an issue with him anymore? He was like, no. And what about you? I said, no. So y'all shake hands and make up. So we shook hands and actually became good friends. That was in the 60s, 1968, 67, somewhere like that. My mom had married my stepfather at that time, and we was living in Princess Anne Plaza. But prior to that, when I was living in Queen City, my grandma's neighborhood, that's why I got bullied the most. It was 3 individuals in particular, and they really gave me a hard time. I ended up in the martial arts studio. My mom and stepfather divorced, so my mom bought a house in Norfolk, in Colonial Place, which was right next to Park Place, which Park Place was at the time one of the roughest neighborhoods in the city of Norfolk. So my mom and her friend and her sister, they used to have card games at the house on Friday nights. So it just so happened one of my mama's friends came to play cards, and he was saying, oh yeah, my son just made black belt at Mr. Hankins' school. And my mom said, Hankins, I know that name. And I'm standing looking at the grown folks play cards. So they smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol and playing cards. And my mama said, Well, I need to put Boo Boo in something. That my mama called me Boo Boo. She said, I need to put him in something because them boys around here, they terrorizing him. He running in the house and he's just scared to fight back. My friend's dad said, take him up there to Hankins. You know Hankins, we went to high school with him. My mama said, Harold Hankins. He was like, yeah. So she said, okay. So I ain't think much of it. So that Monday or Tuesday, I'm not sure what day it was, she took me to the karate studio. So she walks in the door and Mr. Hankins see my mom and remembers her from high school. He said, Eileen Bass, how are you? And gave my mama the biggest hug. And my mama used to say, that man always used to hug me too tight even in high school. And I ain't like him hugging me like that. But anyway, Mr. Hankins said, who do we have here? Looking at me. And she said, this is my son Jack. He's a sissy. He won't fight back. And that, that was like one of the most humiliating things that I had ever had said to me at that point in my life, for my mama to call me a sissy. And I didn't fight back. I didn't like to fight. Mr. Hankins was like, well, if you give him to me, don't interfere with whatever I do to train him, and I guarantee you I'll change him. I can't tell you how long it's going to take. I can't tell you when it's going to happen. But I guarantee you, if you let me train him, I'll change him. And my mama said, okay. And I said, Ma. He was like, shut up, mister. Go over there and take your shoes off. Put your shoes on the shoe rack and get on the floor. I was terrified at that point. And that was the beginning of the journey. The journey of 1,000 miles started with the first step. That was my first step. That's the beginning of my journey through the martial arts. I'm Grandmaster Jack Dark, and I'll see you next time.